Carly here, and right now I'm standing in front of the U.S. Life Saving Services exhibit in the lighthouse at the Tuckerton Seaport. Today I'm going to be giving you a brief history of the Coast Guard, and I'm also going to be giving you a brief history of our Coast Guard boat that we have on the other side of the site. Alright, let's begin. The U.S. Coast Guard didn't get its name until the early 1900s, but its history starts back in 1790. In 1790, Alexander Hamilton formed the revenue cutters. The revenue cutters stopped smuggling activity and basically enforced maritime law. For 8 years, we did not have a navy, so the revenue cutters were the only armed forces that were on the water. In the 1840s, the U.S. Life Saving Services was formed, and this is when we started rescuing people that were in shipwrecks. There are several different methods that we used, and we'll get into that in a bit. In the early 1900s, the U.S. Life Saving Services and the revenue cutters combined to form the Coast Guard. One of the ways the U.S. Life Saving Service rescued people was by using the Francis Life Car. The Francis Life Car was made in 1843 by Joseph Francis in Toms River. The way it worked was from a beach, they'd reel out the life car on a line to the boat, and then they'd reel it back in with 5 or 6 people inside. They'd repeat this process until everyone was rescued. Another way they'd rescue people is by using the breeches buoy. Basically, you just sit in the life ring and get reeled in. They'd use something called the Lyle gun to shoot out the line to the ship. I want to talk a little bit about Coast Guard Boat 44355 that we have at the Tuckerton Seaport site. That boat is made to go out in rough and extreme weather. If it flips over during the storm, it's made to right itself back up in approximately 10 seconds. Equipment is supposed to be completely intact. If the men or women feel like they're going to flip over at any second, they can strap themselves in with seatbelts that are equipped on the boat. Coast Guard Boat 44355 has quite a long history. It served the Coast Guard in the 1970s in New Jersey waters. The men on it were given several awards and medals for their bravery and heroism. The boat was eventually decommissioned and moved in front of the Coast Guard station at Cape May to be put on display. Then it was moved to LBI, and then finally to the Tuckerton Seaport. I hope you all enjoyed the history of the Coast Guard and the Coast Guard Boat 44355. Did you guys know any of that history? Did you know it was the revenue cutters and then the U.S. Life Saving Service and finally combined? Let us know in the comments.
Hi everyone, so today we're going to make a craft about boat safety. So you learned a little bit about the Coast Guard and boat safety with Carly, and now we're going to make our own life vests and life rings for some toys. So the materials you will need today are sponges. If you just have one, that's fine. You can choose which one you want to make. Some ribbon or string or yarn, and scissors. If you have some glue, it might help secure the ribbon, but it's optional. And then you'll need to pick some toys that you want to create some flotation devices for. So I picked these toys because I want to test it out in water. So you want to make sure your toys are waterproof if you really want to test out your flotation devices. So first I'm going to do the life jacket. So if we take the ribbon off, we can see the shape of this. And you want to customize it to whatever toy you're using it for. So I chose to use this Barbie, so I chose a big enough length that it would fit on her body. If I was making it for this little guy, I would probably make a much smaller one for him. So you want to choose your size. I'm going to make it for the Barbie again. And I thought that this sponge was a little too long, so I just started by cutting off a little bit of sponge just so it fits her better. And then what you're gonna do is cut a line down the middle and a circle. So I'll show you with a Sharpie, a line like that, and then just draw a circle on top. You wanna make sure there's enough sponge around your circle so that you don't cut through your sponge. Now you can do this or have an adult help you. Cut the middle, and then just sort of slowly work around the circle. Like that, it's all cut out. Then I can flip it over if I don't want to see my Sharpie line. And put it around my toy. and it's the shape of a real life vest, right? But it kind of falls off a little bit, so that's where the ribbon comes in. And I cut a length of ribbon, put it behind her, like a real life vest goes around your back. And then I'm just gonna tie it in a knot or a bow on the front, like that. So now she's secured, she's ready for a boat ride. All right, so second is our life ring. Now for this one, I used half of a sponge because it is for my smaller toy here too. So for this one, we'll need to draw a circle, pretty big as you can. And then a smaller circle, kind of the size of your toy. So maybe you could trace it or just make sure it's big enough, like that. Then you'll cut out the circle. And to cut out the middle circle, I sort of folded mine and cut like that and folded it this way. Cut like that, so it's kind of an X in there, and then I went back and cut off these sort of triangle shapes so that I could get my circle in there. Like that. So now we could put him in his life ring, make sure it fits. And then, since real life rings, of course, have a rope attached to them, we're gonna add some ribbon or string. So just put it through the hole, tie a knot on here. And there we go. So if he fell out to sea, we could pull him back in. So that's how you make a quick life ring and life vest for your toys. Next we can test it out in water and see if they actually float. Man overboard!